Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about a whole flurry of litigation between Fox News and producer at Fox, Abby Grossberg, connected with the Dominion billion-dollar defamation trial that is itself having a big set of hearings today. I'll get back to those in a second. Abby Grossberg, a producer at Fox News, was deposed in the Fox versus Dominion lawsuit. And she was prepped by lawyers for Fox. And she's brought now two separate lawsuits. One is in Delaware Superior Court, where the Fox versus Dominion defamation case is pending. And she brought also a claim for defamation, kind of a strange box to put it in, but the allegations are pretty volatile and incendiary, especially for Fox as it now faces critical junctures in the lawsuit with Dominion. So she is alleging that the Fox lawyers shaped her testimony, essentially encouraged her to commit perjury, said she should say, "I do not recall," even when she did recall. Now, it's all a little bit soft, a little bit vague, and it's not quite as straight up in terms of the defamation claims, but she is essentially hitting Fox in a vulnerable spot because it's the very defense of the Dominion defamation case. In other words, the thing that has Fox neck deep, maybe even ear deep, maybe even underwater in very hot water. So that's a case she brought in Delaware Superior Court. And if it goes forward, or if the allegations are believed, it makes Fox out to look even worse in the Dominion case. It would also give a basis for Dominion to be able to say that some of the answers in the depositions that Fox folks gave, and remember, a lot of them were pretty candid and made it clear that Fox knew that it was propagating lies. But even more under this suit, it might give reason to think that Fox's answers are sculpted and false. And she is in a very close, she's the producer for Maria Bartiromo, who comes out very poorly in the Fox News case. Fox basically throws under the bus, and Rupert Murdoch singles her and a couple people out as correspondents who either drank the Kool-Aid and believed the big lie, or knowingly put it on the air. And she wanted to defend her friend and boss and say, we're just putting people on to tell their story. So that gets kind of a tangled tale as well as it relates to the defamation case. All right. That's one of two lawsuits that Grossberg filed yesterday. The other is in the Southern District of New York Federal Court for sex discrimination and the creation of a hostile work environment. Here, the allegations are more concrete and more lurid, I would say. Does Grossberg, a whole litany of accusations about what it was like to work at Fox News, especially for women. Bartiromo, they have people describing as menopausal and hysterical and a diva. And she alleges that women were passed over for promotion, generally treated significantly worse than their male counterparts and the like. So that's a flat out sex discrimination case. And that might be her kind of main one, but then they sort of have a synergistic effect, and I think a pointed one because she's leveraging the vulnerability that Fox is now under in the big defamation case. All right, now Fox brings its own lawsuit in New York State Court, trying to prevent Grossberg from making some of these claims, saying that they're confidential and trying to restrain her. Now, I think that train has left the station with the lawsuit that she filed, the defamation lawsuit, although they could still sue for damages or perhaps try to quash aspects of the lawsuit and the like. That's always a very hard effort and not a great look for a media company to try to actually smother information before it comes out rather than trying to dispute it after it does. Okay. So to summarize, well, let me get back. Let me, as I promised, say where we are in the Fox versus Dominion lawsuit. So on Tuesday, today as we tape, they are going to arguments for summary judgment. Each side is going to say, we win without even having to go to a jury trial, or we win aspects of the case. It would be, I think, quite a surprise if the judge granted the motions, with one possible exception. The judge could find and grant summary judgment as to the falsity of the things that Fox published, or some of the big lie claims, leaving a jury to settle the dispute between the parties about whether it was done with, remember, constitutional malice, the standard the Supreme Court has required, that says that you must show that the media defendant knew that what they were saying was false, or at least they were reckless about it. So it's possible you could see a summary judgment in Dominion's favor saying, yes, okay, these were false things that they uttered. But now the question is, did they have the guilty knowledge or recklessness about it? And that'd be the big thing for a jury to determine when it goes to trial, which it's scheduled to do next month. Okay. So people I think are maybe not so focused on this with everything going on with Trump and Manhattan, but quick summary. The big $1.6 billion suit involving Dominion has summary judgment arguments starting today. Big arguments saying you don't even have to permit this to go to trial because there are some disputes that clearly go. Each side will say we clearly win without even having to go to trial. I don't expect those to be granted, but that's a big point in the trial. And if they lose, there's nothing between Fox and a jury trial and potentially gargantuan verdict. Now, and just on the eve of it, a Fox producer alleges that her testimony was shaped and maybe even perjury was suborned in her testimony in the Fox versus Dominion case, and couples it with a hostile work environment sex discrimination case in another court, which Fox brings its own lawsuit in a third court to try to quash. So talk about a tangled web for our favorite faux news corporation. All of these are going to bear watching going forward and in short order, especially the summary judgment motions. So you can bet I'll be looking at them carefully and coming to tell you about anything that seems important. And that's likely to be happening in the next few days. So if you have any time or any attention left after focusing on the Trump DA pending indictment, to think about Fox, there's a lot happening. But I'll do my best to keep you abreast of all of it. Until then, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.